I would like to thank Coca 2005 for sending me this story coming out of Pennsylvania. And I can honestly say that I've never heard of this story, but some of you down in the comments may have. So this man's name is Dr. Johnny Bardo. I already have a problem already with calling him doctor, considering the fact that after what he did, he should not still have the label as doctor, even if he has been removed from his practice, which I'm sure after these recent events he has been. But something else I also noticed about this picture. Let me scroll down a little bit. Look right in this region right here. This guy is so much of a flight risk that he has to be handcuffed to his escort just so they know he's not going to get away. That means this guy did something very, very serious. So this man's name is, like I said, Johnny Bardo, and they said he was a sexual predator who was a pediatrician who was just sentenced to 150, well, up to 158 years in prison. They said that this man sexually molested over 24 children. Now, he is or was a pediatrician. I can just look at this guy and tell he's a straight up creep. Let me see if I can pull up another image of him. Look at his mugshot. Look at him. A disgrace. Looks like a straight up creep. But like I said, I never heard of this story before. I sincerely never did. To the people my subscribers who live in PA, please let me know if you have heard of this guy. But let me go ahead and read this article. A Pennsylvania pediatrician who admitted to molesting several generations of children was sentenced Monday to spend the rest of his life in prison after 18 now grown women took turns pleading with the court to throw the book at him, with many calling him a monster. Johnny Jack Bardo, age 71, was hit with a sentence of 79 to 158 years in prison, virtually guaranteeing that he will die behind bars. Shapiro called the disgraced doctor a serial predator, saying Bardo preyed on children to feed his own sick desires. He held himself as a pillar of his community, a family pediatrician, an elected member of the school board, a regular attendee at church. My office unraveled Bardo's web of lies, deceit, and assault of children, and today he's been held accountable for his crimes. People trusted him, and Bardo did not only abuse the children he saw at his practice, he also preyed on family members, including a 7-year-old and a 14-year-old. Bardo's sentencing came a day after several women who said the doctor molested them when they were children described in a lengthy interview with NBC News how the Johnstown community rallied behind him in 2000, the first time he was accused of abusing children. 20 years ago, this predator could have been stopped, Jennifer Goetz, age 42, said on the steps of Cambria County Courthouse. Goetz, who said she was about 8 when Bardo violated her in 1984, said, "Today is a bittersweet day for me." Erica Brosick, who said she was 12 when Bardo molested her in 1994, said the doctor had enablers who also need to be called to account. Parents were making complaints frequently about Dr. Bardo. We want to find out who did know and what was the level of their responsibility. Brosick was among the women who gave victim impact statements during the sentencing in Evansburg, Pennsylvania, before Cambria County Common Pleas Judge Patrick Kinneary. Shapiro read one of the victim's impact statements. By luck of the draw of physicians in his office, I was a patient of the defendant one time when I was 5 years old. One time too many during my visit, he violated me not once, but twice, while other unsuspected individuals were in the room. While his actions were brief, they were damaging. They impacted my life and how I view myself, including my self-worth and self-esteem. To the defendant, you don't know anything about me, Shapiro continued reading. To you, I'm a number in your list of abused children, but I remember you. I remember your white-collared long-sleeve shirt with purple vertical stripes. I remember the way I laid and sat when you became a monster. Bardo's wife of nearly 48 years, Linda, sat with the victims when the court proceedings got underway. She also submitted a victim impact statement and asked the court for justice for the people hurt by her husband. There is not a day when I don't feel heaviness in my heart for his victims. As his wife and the other women addressed the court, Bardo sat sphinx-like in a gray suit beside his lawyer, David Weaver. Bartle was hit with the staggering sentence 2 months after he first pled guilty to molesting the two relatives and no contest to 3 other allegations brought by children he was accused of sexually abusing at his practice. Under questioning, Bartle also admitted to sexually assaulting a dozen more children during the 4 decades he practiced medicine in and around Johnstown. Bartle targeted girls and boys, mostly between the ages of 8 and 12, the chief prosecutor said. The youngest victims were a toddler and a 2-week-old. Did y'all hear that? This man's youngest victims was a toddler and a 2-week-old child. That means that basically a newborn. Something tell me this man, if he could have somehow violated a woman who had the baby still in her womb, he probably would have. Most of the assaults happened after Bartle got his medical license back in 2000. It had been suspended after he was accused the first time of sexually abusing 3 children in 1998. His license was restored in 2000 by the Pennsylvania Board of Medicine. When he was first accused in 1998, Bartle thought he was immune from prosecution and played a long game to make sure the families thought well of him and allowed their children near him. Despite the rumors that Bartle was still molesting children, he managed to elude law enforcement until December 21st, 2017, when the 12-year-old girl told her mother that at the end of an examination, the doctor had her sit on his lap while he molested her. Bartle was arrested by the Richland Township Police January 18, 2018. That day, the Tribune Democrat newspaper reported a support for Johnny Jack Bartle page went up on Facebook, complete with testimonies from local parents whose children were his patients. The page quickly came down after Bartle finally admitted his guilt. Shapiro noted that in addition to the 31 incidents of assault charged, at least a half a dozen of other cases could not be charged because of the criminal statute of limitation laws in Pennsylvania. I will continue to work my tail off to change the laws in this Commonwealth so every victim has a chance to hold their abuser accountable, he said. I don't know if I can put into words how much I hate this guy right now, and I don't even know him, and I'm just now learning about him. This is one of the sickest men on the planet, without a doubt. Like, he has a long sheet, a long record of violating children. But I think the one that got me was him violating that toddler and that 2-week-old child baby. You might as well just call them babies. I mean, a newborn and a toddler that could be, anywhere from like a few months to a little, maybe over 2 years. This guy is a serial child molester. And the fact that people rallied behind him after the first few times lets you know the mentality of many people nowadays. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the same people that rallied behind him then are some of the same people that couldn't wait to throw Bill Cosby behind bars. I would not be in the least bit surprised, especially since Bill Cosby is from Pennsylvania himself. He's a Philadelphia native. This guy is sick, and he got exactly what the fuck he deserved. I don't know if Pennsylvania honors the death penalty or not, but if they did, I would be the first one to make sure that he got it. And I don't even live in the state, but I would rally behind the thought or the petition to have him put to death. I mean, for them to throw 158 years at this guy, up to, with 79 being the least, they want to make sure he dies behind bars. And you know what? I can't even argue that sentence. This has to probably be one of the worst rape, child molestation cases I've ever heard. And I've come across a few of them. And see, the way that this guy worked is he gained the trust of the community. You heard it. They said he was a pillar of the community. That was his end game right there, to get the trust of the community. That way, if something slipped up, he would have the support to get him to continue to slip through the cracks. And that way, if he had the support, then no one would really challenge it. As you can see, he managed to skate all the way until December 2017, when they really officially got him. It took them since the 80s since 1984 to get this guy. They need to check anything that might have happened before then, before he even became a practitioner. I mean, not a practitioner, a physician. Because I'm almost certain that there might be some old bones in that closet that are just rattling to get out from previous whatever that he probably most likely did. But they need to throw his ass in jail. Throw him in Gen Pop. But besides, look at him. I don't think he's going to last that long anyway. I mean, let's be real here. He's 71 years old. 79 years at the minimum. He's not going to make it. Let's be real here. I'll be surprised if he actually reaches 100. Yet you got Bill Cosby in jail on hearsay. They got this guy on actual physical evidence. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that they got his ass. But Bill Cosby, let's be real, should not even be in jail right now. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one.